Hello. Oh my gosh. Hello, everybody. Welcome, Future Bestsellers, friends, and hangers out. Um, so, hi, we're super glad to see you guys here today. Looks like our chat's already rolling. I'm very excited about that. I'm Lisa Daly. I have some wonderful friends here today. We are going to go around the circle. Oh my gosh, you know who came last? I was saying Robert's always like in the middle and he never gets to go first. Today, Robert, is your special day. Tell us all about you.
Well, the warm feelings gusheth over my channel, which is non-existent. as I said before, there are videos planned, but there's just other things to do, and it'll come back. There's times when I have urges, but I don't give in to those urges because I just want to get ahead with my writing.
That's a different channel, Robert. No, that's good though. It's good that you're focusing. It's good that you're focusing on your writing. It's good.
Yeah.
We're excited. We're excited to see books coming from you at some point in the nearish future.
Yeah, I gotta do that thing where I hold the book up and embarrass you like I do with everybody.
That's right. That's Carol's favorite thing to do. Well, welcome. We're super glad that you are here today. Michelle is also here today. Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
Tell us about you and your awesome channel.
All right. I'm Michelle Schusterman. I'm a young adult and middle grade author. My channel is writing workshops, traditional publishing chat, and writing vlogs. And I'm happy to say that I turned in yet another deadline a couple days ago. A draft is finished, and now all that's left is this proposal, and I'm done.
Yay. Yay. Oh my gosh. You are making phenomenal progress because you had what, like 4
3
projects or something? 3?
An outline, a draft, and a proposal.
It felt like 17 though, right? Didn't it?
It's a lot.
It was definitely. Well, look at you, like right on schedule. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Faye Carol Black is here. Hello. Should we still call you Carol or Faye? Like, when do we do the official transition where we still have Faye Carol Black, but we start saying Faye?
I love your question that I don't have an answer to. So not that I want to dive too deep into it, but part of the reason I was like contemplating doing the big switch is because I was having quarrels with my publisher about my book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're finally getting into the stage where they're giving me back my shit.
What?
Yeah. So, and I was told I'm not allowed to say mean things about them, even though it really wants to leave the tip of my tongue. So just know it's been an arduous journey, and probably what will happen is when this is all said and done, I'm going to have Carol Brown / Faye Black on there because I do still write under both those names.
Okay, so we will continue with calling you Faye Carol Black. And I feel like that's a good thing because like I have literally always known you as Caro, so I think it would be super challenging for me to start calling you by a different name. But if you decide that you want to do that, I will get on board.
I appreciate your respect of my choices.
Well, you know,
I'm sorry, Robert. What did I cut you off on?
I kind of get stuck in that name groove myself, and it's hard to switch. But I do like the Caro name. I think it has a nice flow to it. So
Thank you. It is the name of a character of a completely terrible book that I hated, but because I loved the name so much, I finished it.
Well, that I have finished books for stranger reasons. I will say that. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. So, hi, I'm Lisa Daly. Welcome very much to the stream today. I'm traditionally published, now hybrid author, and on my channel we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. And shock of all shocks, I've actually been posting videos lately. We'll see if this magic and excitement continues. All right, so although if you were I literally posted like 3 in a row about newsletters, and that was the last one. So if you're looking for something else besides newsletters, it will be coming soon. All right, so let's say hey to our friends in the chat. It's already 11:06. Let's see if Caro can keep me on track here. She says, like, you can do it. You can start the warm up at 10 minutes. We'll see. We'll see if I can do that.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Claude is here. Hello. Well, we're at a disadvantage because I don't have the timer up. Hello, Claude. We're super glad to see you. JC is here. Hello. Very, very nice to see you. And Music for All is here. Yes, very nice for the pep talk. First, later, but better than care. I don't know what that means. Morgan's here. Hello, Morgan. We're super glad to see you. Oh my gosh, you guys. JC is here.
I like how my friends harass me. You guys are wonderful.
I know, right? We wouldn't. That's how we know, like that they've not been. You guys ever had? Maybe it's just me. Do you ever have like the discussion with like your significant other or your kids, like if you were abducted by an alien or you body switched or something, how would I know it's you?
What do you think of my selfie?
just us then. Okay.
Yeah. No. We talked about it. We talked about our distress thing that we would say, like me and my husband did. And one of the things that I said I would say is like, "What did you think of my selfie?"
So do you have that? So Michelle, would you have a thing? This is not our topic of discussion today is anti-heroes, but I feel like we stumbled onto something magical here. So how would you know it was your significant other if he was body switched or with an alien or another person? How would you know it was him? Or how would he know it's you? You can think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
That's going to be our first question, you guys. I want to know in the chat what you guys think as well. Like, how would either your kids or your significant other know it's you?
Oh, I know.
It's
how he would talk to our dog. I would know immediately if he saw Rosa. That reaction would be like, "Oh, that's Josh." Only we talk to our dog the way we do.
All right, that is a perfect answer. I love that. All right, Laura is here. Good morning. Been feeling manic, worrying about my middle grade horror. Got a request for the first 50 pages. What? Hold on. Wait. Yeah, that is super awesome. Yay! We are so excited for you. That is phenomenal. Very, very nice. Congratulations. Adding a sentence or two for the last 2 days. I thought it was done, but it can always be improved.
Gotta send it at some point.
That's right. I was just gonna say the same thing. It can, but it shouldn't. And I don't know if that's always true that it can always be improved. I think at some point you reach this point of like diminishing returns where
I think you do,
right? Yeah. And you start making it worse. Okay.
Yeah.
Not to pick you out, Laura.
No.
Words that mean the same thing and really has no difference to the reader. You're just being picky with it. So
yeah.
I don't think tweaks are ever going to make a difference on whether or not you get an offer.
True.
Yeah. Like it's never going to be about something that teeny tiny.
It won't. Right. And you've got this. You have totally got this. That's why we had to bring out the 1970s game show audience. So yay. Thank you very much. All right, Robert, how would Georgie know it was you or vice versa?
Well, here's the key, because I used to love the invasion of the body snatchers when I was a kid and even into adulthood. So the thing about aliens is their passions are different. And Georgie and I have so many quirky things, we would know. It wouldn't be hard.
I think that's fantastic. That's awesome. All right, Mary's here today on campus today. No students. I thought I'd hop on and hang out. Yay. Thank you so much. Ray is here. Hello. We are very glad to see you. Hey, Eva. We're glad you're here today. Super glad. Tina's here. Hi, Tina. I don't think you've been here before, so welcome. We are very, very glad to see you today. I hope you have fun and hang out. Today's topic for you guys who are just popping in now, we are going to be talking about anti-heroes and my brand new love of the boys. Robert, if you guys all remember, I should have posted it. I'll try and do it in the break. Robert had done a word stock over oh my gosh. Robert, will you explain what my cannot?
Well, Lisa posted on Instagram, and I thought it was going to be last week's topic because it was anti-heroes, but it was just a link to the word stock where we covered that subject. So we decided to make it this week's topic.
That's exactly right. All right. Very nice job. Thank you very much for being my speaking person today. Story Master is here. Hello, Story Master. We are very glad to see you. We are also looking forward to writing. Cool Gamer is here. Eva is super excited for Laura. I'd be manic too. So you've got this. Yes, right? We know you've got this. You've got it. My husband already thinks I'm an elderly alien. That's very nice. Devin's here. Hello, Devin. Hopefully I finally get to stay, watch the full event. Husband asleep, daughter in room. So fingers crossed. We better get some writing going then. Oh, that's both sad and hilarious. You know what? Yeah, right. But you know what? You always have us. You always have us. All right. Marty Mary's here. Hello. We're glad to see you. All right. There we go. If I say I hate coffee, then you know I'm in trouble. That's my phrase to signal I need help. If my kid said I'm giving up video games. Very, very nice. Debbie, hopping on while trying to find a new place to live. Oh my gosh. That is I'm very curious because I know like the housing market's been so
I've been triggered.
crazy. Yeah. So are you looking to like rent or buy? How is it out there? I'm kind of curious to know. Ray says, my husband and I have been best friends for 20 or 21 years. We would know. Our quirks wouldn't be the same. We wouldn't look at each other. Aw, that's so sweet. I love that. All right. With that, we are going to go to our 5-minute warm-up sprint. Let me just grab that sucker and pull it up. Hold on. I think it's going to start rolling without me. Dun, 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 dun.
4 minutes after. You did pretty good.
I did okay. Yeah. It just started. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It was
I'll give you a B.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and do our warm-up sprint. We're going to get our documents open and get our drinks and do whatever else we need to do. So our question for after we come back from the break, 2 questions. First, what are you working on today? And second question is, how would your significant other or your kids know if you had been body switched or abducted by aliens or something? Not abducted, I guess, body switched with an alien or just another person. One of those magical kinds of movies that always happens. All right. I'm clearly having problems with the words today, so we'll see how the writing goes. Here we go. We are going to get started with our first sprint in 3, 2, 1. All right. Let's stop that screen. Okay. Oh, that was weird. I got like a little like doo-doo-doo at the very end there. Great. How'd everybody do?
Not so great. I'm having problems connecting to my keyboard. Remember that keyboard that wouldn't work and I was going to send it back, but they wouldn't accept it?
Mm-hmm.
Actually tried it out, tinkered with it, and got it to work with the new iPad. And I've been using it over the past week. And today it just won't connect, but I noticed the battery light's coming on. So did it burn through batteries that quickly? I don't know.
Yeah.
That keyboard has really been a dud the whole time.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm going to swap out the batteries next sprint and see if that is actually the problem.
That really sucks. I'm very sorry. I hate the keyboard problems. All right. So what is everybody working on today? Let's start with you, Faye Caro Black. What are you working on today?
I am working on editing a chapter of my mega book because I made an I was a spoken commitment to somebody that I would edit a chapter a day and then send it to them. And so usually because they're in a different country, in a different time zone, they wake up and they do this at me. And I'm like, take it here, go. So I'm working on that.
That's good. How about you, Michelle? You are working on your
Client's proposal.
Client proposal. Nice.
Yep.
And Story Detective, how about you? What are you working on today?
I am continuing with draft 2 of my current novel. And after having that burnout factor for a while and coming back, it's just sort of going along. And I'm amazed at the little things that I find out that when I was writing in that haze that I'm like, wow, that's terrible. How come I couldn't see that? But we're always blind to our own work.
That is true. That is definitely true. So I am going to be outlining today. I am going to be drafting a book I'm taking off July, but I'm going to be drafting a book in August. Michelle's going to be working on a book in July and August. And I said that I would I'd write with her.
Yeah.
I have to write Sparks Flying to troll Tamara on her birthday in December. So that's what I'm doing in July.
Yay. All right. So we've got this going then. So that's what, so I'm actually working on the outline today because I want to make sure that is nice and tight. And I haven't, I started it, but I haven't really fleshed it out yet. So that is what I'm going to do. All right. Debbie says her mother-in-law sold the house they're currently in, so they're looking to rent or buy. I got it. All right. So if my youngest decided sleep was fun, I would know it wasn't him anymore. Wait till they're teenagers, then they'll sleep all the time. If I stopped being a kid in a 45-year-old body, she would know it's not me. Devin is going to try and stay focused on finishing a chapter or two on one of my off and on books that I write when I need a change from one of my others. Story Master testing out a new keyboard, the Keychron K2. I've
not heard of that one.
I haven't either, but I'll bet you'll be researching it in the next.
I'll be looking it up.
All right, that's good. So Story Master, I feel like, are you new to us today? Welcome.
They've been here at least once or twice before. I remember the little Yoda symbol.
I
know. By the way, Story Master, are you watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, and what do you think?
My son is watching that show, and he loves it. How about you?
I don't think it's bad. It's
well, that's a ringing endorsement.
The new episode thing that Disney is doing for streaming, it turns out that they're really slow burns, and then the last episode or two, suddenly things will pick up.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen the last episode, but here's the thing with Star Wars fans: they hate it when it's not going their way. Their expectations and the mythos from all the books and comics that never make it into movies and film are the key. And if it's not following that, then it's bad. Then they get to that one episode, and I saw on my feed on Facebook, all the Star Wars fans are like, this was the best 50 minutes Disney ever did, and I cried. Oh, I cried too, bro. The brohood has to cry, or it sucks.
Yeah, I have strong thoughts on Star Wars, but
I do too, but they're not good.
Well, like, can I get on a tangent for a little bit?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like, it's a Star Wars household here and a Trek. Like, we're all sci-fi in this house, and so is my dad and everything else. And I read the books, and I did all the things. So when Disney got the rights to it, and they said, oh, by the way, all these books that are canon, they're not canon anymore. Like, what they did was they kind of screwed with the culture identity of the group, and a lot of us were kind of like, well, what's a fact and what's not? Do I get to see Darth Talon? Like, what's going on here? And when you kind of go and you fuck with like the foundation like that, you start screwing with your fan base trust, which I think is really kind of like the big reason why they got so much criticism, because when they did that, I get why they did it, because they wanted more freedom. But then again, in an interview later, she who should not be named, KK, said it's like, it's really hard to write movies when you don't have any source material. We're all like, you have 30 years right here.
They said some things that were really crappy, like they didn't know what they were doing. And
Yeah.
the sequels were bad. They were badly written, no
terrible.
characterization.
Well, and that was a director battle too, because they couldn't get the one guy to come back, so they got somebody else, and so he completely ruined everything. And that last movie was him trying to fix it. And I'm trying. Like, no, I hope you see me struggling here, because I really am trying.
I know. All right, we go ahead, Robert. Then we're gonna move on. Go ahead.
Okay. One other thought: the source material. I mean, it's true. They held it up for Star Wars, and I think Star Wars was very lucky because they had big gaps between films, and Lucas had say over the comic books, and they were all pretty much canon, and that protected it for a long time. But as somebody who grew up reading comic books and all these things that went into films later, they completely trashed everything that those books and comics did for years. So Star Wars has been really lucky. And now that it's happening, I don't think it would matter if Disney or any other big studio had it. It would just eventually get to this point where that canon meant nothing.
Right. Well, and that's an important lesson for publishing, in that you do not screw over your fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Swinton's here. Oh, sorry. What were you going to say? All good? Okay. Good morning. Hello, Swinton. Working on the 3rd chapter of my 3rd book for my murder mystery trilogy, 333. Love that. Ray's getting some laundry done while she's knocking things out. Oh, Story Master's got some points. Yes. Yeah. I will say that my son is really early into it, so he has not, I think he's only seen 1 or 2 episodes. And because he was waiting to watch it with his grandma, because I would not watch it. And so, so he was like, so far, so good. Eva, but we'll see what he feels, because he is really he is always frustrated if the film doesn't match the book. That's his biggest pet peeve probably in life.
There's some good moments, but it's definitely Star Wars light.
Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. Eva, I just finished making some tea, making some Play-Doh. I don't write much till evening. Mom life takes over, but I miss writing during the sprints. Aw, thank you so much. Very nice. All right. So Mary's working on work. Very nice. Brain dumping. Very good. Super nice. Music for All says you get to see the Vanilla Cookie Cutter sleep aid movies made for China, and bad movies stretch out to be 10 hours for TV. What's not to love about Disney? Woo! All right. That makes it feel like it's time for a 20-minute sprint. Let's all cool our jets. And although, let's say, okay, whether you hate them or love them, if they offer, go around, if they offer to buy your book or your book series, would you sell or not? Robert.
It would depend on what I'm getting, but probably I'd go for it, because you get more publicity from Disney than so many other places. So I'd be the sellout and give them
Michelle, what would you do if Disney wanted to? Yeah. Young adult author. What would I do?
And try to do something really good with it.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Caro?
They don't want my series.
Let's just say they wanted Sparks Fly. They're gonna make it into
Nobody wants a robot erotica on Disney.
They're gonna make it into a quirky YA. All right.
Oh God, no! Now you said YA. F that. No, I don't want to be anywhere near that community. Stay away from me.
All right. I would totally sell out to Disney. I would totally sell out to Disney. Okay. All right. Here we go. We are going to work on our first 20-minute sprint. We are all here to write. We're going to get some of that done today. Let me just share this. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Full screen. Here we go. We are going to get started. Oh, it's already starting without us. 3, 2, 1, sprint. Write as fast as you can for 20 minutes. All right, we are back. I hope everybody had a very productive sprint. How did you do, Caro?
Sorry.
Can no
I
one
did
hear?
great. Yeah, sorry. You caught me when I was like, roar. I finished proofreading some pages and I didn't add any words, but then I got to a gap where it says add words. So I'll probably do that next sprint.
That's good. Very nice. Very nice. How about you, Michelle? How'd you do on the last one?
Good. I just started out with kind of like reading through what I have of the outline so far and cleaning it up a lot based on some changes we've made. So yeah, it's going well.
Just that part about writing a proposal. So are you finding it easy or challenging to sprint while writing a proposal? I tend to sort of like get in the zone and then 2 hours have gone by. How about you?
Yeah, but the sprinting works well too, especially lately. Like I'm already half on vacation in my head. So I need the breaks. Like this is the only way I can get motivated to sit down and write, you know.
Yes, I feel that definitely.
But normally, yeah, with outlines especially, it's like I do best when I have like a couple of solid hours.
Right. Yeah, definitely. How about you, Story D? How'd you do on the last one?
Not bad. I got my keyboard connected at last. I discovered it wasn't the batteries, and I was just about to switch out to my other keyboard because it wasn't connecting, and suddenly, bing, it was there.
Of
So
course. It realized like, oh, that's it. Robert's giving up on me. So I feel like I got a comb over going on here. So I'm sorry I keep messing with my hair. I don't know what well, I need like a pin or a binder clip or something to keep that guy under control. All right, well, that's good. I was working on my outline and then I got like a call from Canada and I was so curious, like just as the sprint was starting, and I was so curious, like, who's calling me from Canada? Because the only person that I would think of who would call me from Canada was is my really good friend Eileen Cook, who is she used to be a YA writer and now she's a mystery writer. But it was not Eileen Cook. It was actually Fresh Books because I had asked them a question and they called me. So there you go. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. Very non-exciting thing. But that's why I took a call in the middle, because I was like, is Eileen Cook calling me? Is she coming to Florida? All right. So but other than that, I made some basic progress on I wouldn't say I made spectacular progress, but I made okay progress on my outline that I'm working on. How about you guys? Looks like Banu Bright came in. Hello. We are very glad to see you today. And Music for All had some interesting thoughts on Disney. Okay, so how did you guys in the chat? How did everybody do on that last sprint? And our topic today is anti-heroes, which I'm excited to talk about. I did pop up the anti-hero collaboration playlist, which was a word stock project, like I think like a year and a half ago maybe, where a bunch of us made videos on anti-heroes and what we thought, how we wrote them, etc. So Robert, since I believe this was your idea in the beginning, would you like to just explain for anybody who does not know what is an anti-hero?
Sure. Well, an anti-hero is pretty much any hero that goes against the extremes or the ways of society. If there's a law to be broken or something unconventional, as we talked about at one point last week, all superheroes, if they put on a mask and go above the law, are really anti-heroes. And your hero has to kind of rise above the villain and their inner turmoil and even their family and friends in most stories, but they're not actually breaking the law. They're just breaking convention within their own sphere. I guess an anti-hero would break the law on a larger level, a bigger sphere. And speaking of Star Wars, Darth Vader was one of my favorite anti-hero arcs. Got me involved in some of that, but especially when you look at the animated series, it's a much bigger, better story with that involved.
Mm-hmm. I think that I think that people sort of love anti-heroes in a lot of different ways. I was talking earlier before we came on the stream about how I have been super, super addicted to The Boys, despite the fact that it is a lot more graphic than I would normally watch in every possible way. There's like an eye gouge like every episode. I just can't. But anyway, right, there are sometimes when I'm like, tell me when it's over. But it's so good. And one of my favorite characters is a character named Billy Butcher, who is sort of the leader of the boys. And he is very much an anti-hero, right? He's he often doesn't do the moral thing or the ethical thing, but he has this sort of greater overarching goal, which is to stop these sort of evil superheroes, which in this world, pretty much all the superheroes are, let's say, have questionable moral behavior. So but he's like one of the characters that's like really fun to watch. I wouldn't want to date him. I definitely would not want to like be friends with him, but he's such a fascinating character. So so there's that.
Superheroes have become kind of the bad guys in this. They're owned by the government and not for great purposes. But that was something that Frank Miller started in The Dark Knight, which I think somebody mentioned in the comments.
Storymaster.
And that was one of the first times that, as a kid reading that and having Batman telling Superman, what you don't understand is we were all villains.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, wow, that's groundbreaking. And since then you see what's come of it in stories like The Boys, which is interesting.
It really, Laura. I worked on the first season of The Boys. It was interesting doing effects to make the dude turn invisible. You did an excellent job. It really is. It's such a good series, and it's such a good series. And I'll say the effects for the invisible guy, whose name I can't remember. I don't remember. Anyway, he's prominent in the first season. Fascinating. And I don't know if you did this, like I super loved the I don't want to give away, never mind, I was about to do a spoiler. So I loved it though. Laura, excellent work. Very, very nice. Okay, so Claude says, don't really know if he's in that category, but my favorite anti-hero would be Kevin Costner in A Perfect World. That's interesting. I never saw that movie, so I don't have any idea. Anybody else? I did just see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, okay. So The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is a story about Nick Cage playing himself as Nick Cage. This actor who's like, he's super self-centered. He's really arrogant. He's obnoxious. He has a terrible relationship with his daughter. He's always letting people down, and always making everything about him. And then, and he doesn't get a role that he wants. And he ends up going, as a lot of celebrities do, he gets paid like $1 million to make an appearance at some guy's birthday party. And it turns out that this guy, the CIA, says, hey, this guy's a drug lord and we want you to, like, you're already in, we want you to, help us get access. And so he's like helping the CIA, but he's also this really thoroughly terrible human being. And I will say the movie was out and it was also streaming at the same time. It just came out. We really found it very hilarious. Like, if you want to see Nick Cage doing like an outsized version of Nick Cage, it was quite.
I heard it was supposed to be good.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. We really enjoyed it. So, good. Translucent. Thank you, Storymaster. Oh my God. I don't know that. I think Laura would have the best. Yeah, of course you did. So anyway, so I thought that was really fascinating. And I also think I think there's been sort of a rise of anti-heroes. Like, I have noticed in romance, which is of course the category that I write in, that there's been a lot more bully romance, which is like where the mean guy likes you, which I have fun. So to each their own, but just as like a mother of a girl child, I find the bully romances like super problematic, even though I know people love them, and also I know fiction is not real life. Still,
my love will fix him.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that. But bully romances and mafia romances, where you have like a terrible, horrible person who's also super sweet as a boyfriend. Like those are really popular right now. And so like
He's mean to everyone but you.
I know. Although,
Yeah,
you know what? So there's
don't
also like
change it.
another oh, go ahead. There's
People don't change, so it's a matter of time before he's not sweet to his love as well. So that's
right. Well, there is sort of a like that's kind of under the umbrella of sort of a bigger kind of trope, which is this idea of this grumpy sunshine. Like he's grumpy to everyone but her. And as a sunshine with a grump, I could say it mostly holds. It's pretty good. Okay, Brightburn, Laura, that is a great example. It's Superman was an evil kid movie. Seems like if Superman was an evil kid movie.
yeah, I saw that one. And it didn't hit me as, done as well as I thought it could be, but it was an interesting concept. And it is the Superman concept just done as, what if the kid got out of control and he didn't grow up to be this really, goody Boy Scout character.
Right.
And this is the thing about anti-heroes too. I mean, they can go from just going above the law to right some wrong to actually killing people that they assume is the bad guys. And I was thinking about this since last week when we talked about anti-heroes and the real world environment where everybody is looking at one another with a certain amount of anger. If you had anti-heroes, who are the bad guys? And what if somebody were just killing somebody they believed to be the bad guys, but weren't actually, just because they believed all the hype and all the nonsense? This is pretty deep stories involved in what we've seen in recent years in terms of anti-heroes.
I think that is a fascinating take on it. So Michelle writes in YA or in middle grade, sorry, not YA, and I don't really think about anti-heroes being so prominent in there, but there must be. There have to be.
Yeah, it's maybe a little harder to do with a kid. Like you have to write it with a light touch, because how do you make a kid evil but still likable?
Right.
I think my favorite personal example, I just love the Artemis Fowl series, and I never saw. Speaking of Disney, I never saw what they did with the adaptation, but I heard it was just like absolutely the worst adaptation in the largely because they stripped away his cruelty and they just made him sympathetic from the beginning. But that's an 8-book series where this kid, it's not just coming of age, like he gets a soul,
Right.
He really he starts out really just a jerk. I mean, he's like really doing cruel things, and you slowly see him like develop a sense of humanity, and you understand why he is the way he is. So I think that's a great anti-hero middle grade example personally.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Kara? What do you think about them? Ooh, we've got some good quotes too, or comments. Sorry, I really am like today. So Kara, you
I like anti-heroes, and I tend to like them more in the cast because they have a lot more layers and complexities involved. And one of the things I don't think that's been mentioned so far is that anti-heroes, despite like the questionable things that they do, they still have a code that they follow. Mm-hmm. And my favorite anti-hero, which comes probably to no surprise to anybody, is the Punisher. And usually what I really like about the Punisher is that he'll be in a team and the team will make some course of action where he's kind of like, that's dumb, we shouldn't do that. It's like, well, that's what we're going to do. And he says, okay. And then he walks off and nobody wonders where he went. But then next thing you know, he showed up with like some automatic rifles and he's just dealing with it his way. I think, and I get into some debates with some folks, but like, I think one of the things that I really, and this might be just the military side of me that's kind of showing through, but when I used to watch the Punisher series with my husband and he would have like serious Marine moments, we were like, fuck yeah, that's what we do. Like he was doing a negotiation with somebody at one point and he's just sitting there and he's like, you can't argue with me, I'm a fucking Marine. And it was like, it was so in character. Like it was just so like what the Punisher would do. And I'm going back to the code thing before I get fangirly. And there was like one episode where he thought he had violated his code and he literally fell apart, right? And he did like a whole bunch of questioning, like if he was doing the right thing or not. But then when he realized like, his code had been violated, he went right back into Punisher mode. He's like, oh, things are fine. Let's go. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's just really important to emphasize, despite their methods and the way that they do it, they still have like this internal rule system that they follow.
Right.
And it's not as strict as like, you know, the golden rules that like typical heroes follow, but it's still something that they internally, you know, kind of keep close to the chest that way. So.
Well, sure. I mean, that's part of what makes them different from a villain. Absolutely. That's a great way to put that. Storymaster says anti-heroes are much easier to write and more fun for actors to play. I'm positive that is definitely true. RC Scott is awake. Yay. RC, I'm so terrible. I feel bad because I feel like every time you reach out to me on Instagram, it's always like 17 days later by the time I respond. So I do check it. I've just been insane lately. Yes, absolutely. Hey, Tina. So glad you're here. I've always thought of anti-heroes as heroes who don't want to be like Wolverine or Deadpool. Also an excellent way to put that. Very, very nice. Always like the RC says every character James Cagney played. Claude also really loved the Punisher. So does RC.
So good.
The Punisher is a badass. Okay. Definitely Deadpool used to be an anti-hero. Now he's the Bugs Bunny of Marvel. So you know what's so funny? Because that was actually the example. That's actually a really good way to put that, RC. Because that was what I was thinking too. But in the beginning, I did not think the part about Bugs Bunny. That is excellent. But I was thinking about like the you know, sort of the classic sort of character and even the like the first movie. So it is really fascinating. But I think, you know, I also find that they've really adapted Deadpool so much to Ryan Reynolds and his strengths. And so you have these like
comedy writer from the film industry who started writing Deadpool and brought that Bugs Bunny humor in.
Yeah.
I was already kind of divorced from it at that point, and somebody mentioned that it was a comedy, and I'm like, that's Deadpool? That's a big, you know, 360 in his character. And they're like, no, it's great, and everybody loved it, and nobody got that it was Bugs Bunny humor for years, and now people are catching on, and I'm so glad they're seeing that he's just taking Bugs Bunny jokes and putting it into this character who was very scary at one point.
Yeah, you kind of have to be careful with like characters that break fourth wall like that. And argue with me, I'm ready. But part of the charm that kind of made like the Deadpool movie successful started to be like emulated by like other people, and it didn't go very well. My first thought on that was the Thor movie, the third one, because like as soon as Deadpool came out, like the Thor movie, it looked like it was trying to copy that, everything from talking to the audience to the slapstick humor, like all of it. And it was such a weird thing for me to observe, because before like the Shakespearean Company had been involved with helping like the actors with it, and then suddenly it's like we have like Deadpool walking around in a Thor costume, and I was just like, I don't know what's happening.
Like all the stories that tried to do the Buffy thing. And Joss Whedon, although he has a lot of crap coming out about him today, he and his team of writers, when they were working on Buffy, did a great blend of comedy and horror and action. And when other people have tried it, it just falls apart.
You have to have like the right cast to pull that off. You can't just like we had Giles, and Giles was like the super serious, like, you know, kind of stuffy British guy, and you know, Buffy was the quirky character, and watching that dynamic like work together, that was fantastic. I mean, the whole cast of Buffy was like, I'm gonna stop.
I honestly, like, I could go with Buffy all day. However, we have got to get in a sprint so that we can stay on track today, and I know you're proud of that, right? All right, so I love this conversation, though. All right, you guys, we are going to get rolling really fast. That's a terrible and awkward transition. Sorry, I'm just going to apologize for that in advance, but we're going to move forward. All right, here we go. We are going to do another 20-minute sprint. Let us know if you are what you're working on, if you're just coming in now, and we'll be back to talk more anti-heroes after the sprint. All right, here we go, everybody. Starting in 3, 2, 1, sprint. All right. Let me just get this rolling here. All right. Fantastic. I feel like I don't know if like the air just went on or something, but there was like, I felt like this, I don't know, like that. Now you feel it too, because I blew into my microphone. All right. So we had such a, oh my gosh, you guys, we had like such a fantastic little addition from RC Scott, who just popped in. He's like given us a ton of great anti-heroes. So how did everybody do in the last sprint? Let us know in the chat. How about you, Robert? How'd you do in the last one?
I did pretty well this time around. Had everything working fine and got down to business at last.
All right. I solved a small problem that's been sort of niggling at me for a while, and it just like popped into my head, which I love when that right, you think about it for a long time and then finally you're in the right place and it just goes, oh, ding, like it's the easiest thing in the world. Right? Michelle, how'd you do on the last one?
Really good. It's going a little slower than I expected it to, but I'm still making progress, so it's all fine.
All good, all forward. How about you, Caro? Okay, good.
Sorry, I have multiple screens, so I have to find my mouse. I got to the end of the one chapter that I was in the middle of fleshing out, and I'm still fleshing it out, and I'm almost like this close to finishing this particular one. So if we do another sprint, I'll be done with it.
We are going to try to do another sprint. It's 12:32. We've stayed relatively on track. I think we are definitely going to get another one. Right? Don't jinx me. Okay. Or don't let me jinx myself. RC says back to anti-heroes. Like, here we go. Ray Liotta and Goodfellas. Batman sticks to a code, more of a vigilante interest. I don't know how to say this. Who is this, Robert?
Etrigan,
the demon from DC Comics. John Constantine. Oh, you know who I love is
They never know what to do with John Constantine either. Like, that's what I always find amusing about that character. Sorry.
No, you're okay. You're good. That's why we're here, to hear your opinion and others.
To like John Constantine, but there's always something that slips out of my grasp just as I start to like him. I don't.
Well, that's like the definition of an anti-hero right there, right? Just as I start to like him, I don't. The Warriors, RC, there are several others that are agreeing with you on that one. Dawdling Rider is here. Hello. Happy Wednesday. We are very, very glad to see you. Very nice. RC says there's a great unknown movie with Robin Williams and Walter Matthau where they flip out and start a militia.
Oh my God, what?
That can't be true. Grumpy old men with a vengeance. Oh, goodness. Vixen's here. Hello. Hopped in Sprint, read a chapter while eating lunch. Oh, thanks so much for being here today. Eva, I've done things, but too much day to list. I feel that. But you know what? You're still doing it. Devin's here. Finally reached the downside of my character. Nice. Very nice. Horror Geek is here with us today. Constantine is my favorite. That's no surprise.
A man of culture, I approve.
That's true. Ooh, okay, there we go. Oh, Hellblazer has always been my favorite Vertigo title. Interesting. All right, that's pretty cool.
You know my favorite thing about John Constantine is Supernatural ripped off his outfit. The trench coat, the tie, everything. Yeah, they were just kind of like, we need a look, so we'll take this one.
We'll just take this other guy's look.
Yeah, like the first time I saw it, I was like, you.
Chapter, we got it. Horror Greek agrees with that statement. So anything else before we well, he's the definitive answer. Is there anything else before we go into the next sprint that we have not said? Yep, see, there we go. That we have not said about anti-heroes.
I have a discussion point.
Yeah.
Do you think that because anti-heroes have kind of like increased in popularity because of like their complexities, that now they're trying to make more heroes like them?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a really interesting perspective. Well, the other thing too is that I think as a society that with all of the, let's say, infighting amongst the peoples, that behavior about what is good is not so clear cut anymore.
Mhm.
That I and so I think maybe, you know, how art reflects life and life reflects art. I wonder if that's not another reason, or it could just be like it's a trendy thing, and you know, and they always come back, where you see a lot of them and something is successful, so we see a lot more of it, then people get bored of it and they go a different direction.
Yeah. Well, interesting fact on DC Comics and the whole Dark Knight thing, getting back to Frank Miller's version, which I think is the version everybody thought Batman could be, or maybe should have been. We saw him slipping into that character every once in a while where he looked darker and was always an anti-hero, but his code was still a weird fusion of the 1960s, 1980s. And then when Frank Miller did it, it became like the rage of popularity, and everybody's like, yes. And Denny O'Neil, who, if you watch like the Batman movies, he'll be talking, you know, how the Dark Knight is a great thing and building it up, but he hated that. He didn't like that it influenced that character. The gatekeepers of DC wanted things to remain kind of on the status quo, and they were really harsh about it and very hard to deal with. The
Wow.
the whole Vertigo line is kind of a little bit apart from the superhero line, so they go a little bit more depthy with characters. But I've always not liked the continuity. They'll do something and then they'll say we've gone too far, and then they'll switch everything back with a new crisis and reboots, and they started that whole thing. And that to me was just like an opening of the, you know, the crack in the dam where everything started spilling out.
The
Man,
beginning of the end there.
Could you picture that if we did that as authors? Like, oh man, I wrote my series into a hole. Well, it's time to start it over. Let's go.
Right, I'm just gonna start with a new, different, but still the same. Thank you, Eva. That's very sweet of you. This has been such a fascinating conversation. All right, you guys, we have got time for one more writing sprint, and I'm very excited. What? We're gonna make it. We're on time. It's a miracle. All right, let's see. Oh, it is, unless I can't get the thing up on time. All right, here we go. Look at me. Winning all around. All right, you guys. So let's do our very last sprint of the day. We are going to make this one count. Let's get writing in 3, 2, 1. Cha-cha. Okay, I just have to get rid of the banner or not. There it is. All right, fantastic. So welcome back, everybody. How did you guys do on our final sprint? Yay. All right, good. How about you guys in the chat? How did you all do? Very, very nice. Mary's back. Very good. Very nice. Fantastic. Really cool. All right, you guys. I am so. Oh, did we get this before? Yes, we did. I think that was our very last one.
Mhm.
Let me just say that the horror geek was texting me while during the sprint, continuing the anti-hero conversation. And he actually said something that Caro had said earlier and something that you had said, Robert. So that was kind of funny. But anyway, so I think he just came in. I was excited that he came by though, because he was a movie reviewer for approximately 1 million. Well, I guess he still is on the Horror Geek, right? But he was a movie reviewer for approximately 1 million years. And so he knows more about like movies and story structure from a movie perspective than most people I know. Anyway, thanks for being here today, you guys. It was awesome.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Fantastic. All right. So we will be here. I don't know. Let me check my trusty calendar. I don't think we have a topic. Do we have one yet? Hold on.
Yeah.
Yes. Author promo, feeling like you have to do all the things. Where do you start? That is what we're talking about next Wednesday.
Or do you start?
Right. Do you start? How do you really have to do all the things? Yeah. So I'm really excited to have that conversation. Also, I'm really liking the fact that that we're planning so far ahead, because it feels like we're having some really like good, important conversations.
I like it because it helps me know what I'm blogging about next week.
Ooh.
Well, I'm so pleased that we could be so organized. Speaking of being organized, if you'd like to be more organized, please join us on the Boozy Planorama this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That was my best transition of the day. This one is going to be hosted on Caro's channel. So be there or be square if you like hashtag stickers and liquor.
Which I don't know if you'll be hurt if you don't come. I'll think you hate me.
No, that's not true.
My feelings.
We will be taking notes. No, I'm kidding. We did. I don't know if you guys saw this. So I'm like totally addicted. There's this author on Etsy who sells planner stickers. Her name is the Procrasta Planner, and she. Like I order a lot of stickers from her because I love her so much. Oh, can I not find them? So in my last order, she had made some Boozy Planorama hashtag stickers and liquor stickers for us. What? Like just as a gift. She just made them and sent them in the package. And I was like, what? Anyway. Yes, JC. Yes, it is this Sunday. Usually we do the first Sunday of the month, but the first Sunday of the month for July is a holiday weekend. And so we are doing it this week. So I'm sending that thumbnail over today. And so I imagine because Caro is very organized, she'll probably have that thing up in the next day or so. So, all right, you guys, this was completely awesome. Thank you. We can't wait to see you, Mary. Next week, talking about doing all the things. Thank you all so much for being here. Let's go around the circle really fast and do our little outros, and then we will head out. Let's start with you, Caro.
Oh, I was about to say, like, what circle are we doing? Hi, my name is Cara Brown, also writing under Faye Black. I came here today to work on a chapter. I worked on the chapter. Thank you so much for having me. That's it.
Very nice. Michelle.
Hi, Michelle Schusterman. I'm a young adult middle grade author. My channel is Writing Workshops, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Writing Blogs.
Thank you so much for being here every week, Robert.
And I am Robert Jones, the Story Detective, and my Procrasta channel is the Story Detective, where I used to take all forms of storytelling and combine them and put them under a Sherlockian microscope, break down the craft, and give it to you, the viewer, to make your craft journey easier. If you want to go check out my past videos, please do. There are plenty of things about heroes, villains, and anti-heroes to be found.
That is true. Your channel, like, you may not be producing new videos at this moment, but there is a treasure trove of craft videos over on your channel. So, yes, absolutely. All right, you guys, I'm Lisa Daly. I'm a traditionally and indie published author of romance, contemporary romance, and also nonfiction advice. Fantastic. So glad you guys got so much done. Thank you all so much for being here. We are delighted to hang out with you guys every week, and we will see you next Wednesday. Same time, same place. Bye.
Take care.